Planet X TV.
When I was a little kid, my dad ever caught me doing something stupid, and I said, well, my friends told me to do it. He would say, Ryan, if your friends told you to jump off a bridge, would you do it? Yeah, Dad, I would.
Besides bailing off a perfectly good bridge, this time on a guy's guide, we're in beautiful Southern California, where we'll mountain bike with legendary Hans Ray and grapple with the Gracie family, the founders of the UFC. Then we'll climb a rock out in Joshua Tree National Park and parkour through UCLA's campus after dark. Finally, as I search the world for a guru, I try out a guy named Steve as we seek out the meaning of life. Where we find it? Stay with us on A Guy's Guide to Living. My name's Brian Spencer, and I'm on a quest to find the perfect day. As we bounce around the world, we'll chase a flawless sunrise, enjoy some epic adventures, and seek out a few solid brothers and sisters that can inspire us to follow our passion, push our physical limits, and explore our spiritual side. If life is about the pursuit of happiness, then this is a guide to living. I like to live in a very organic fashion. That means I've always been ready for any opportunities that spring up. By not being tied to any outcome and simply being open to new and exciting things, sure enough, those things seem to show up. Probably the most fun of which, so far at least, has been the idea my cousin Josh came up with, a giant pogo stick. For me, stepping away from the security of a nice paying job in the pharmaceutical industry to start a pogo stick company was a no-brainer. No matter where I am in the world, I'm always looking for cool places to bounce. And in the process, I love to challenge myself to clear new obstacles and reach new heights. Plus, it's classic to watch people's reactions to some dude bouncing down the street just going zing, zing. And of course, it's a great way to meet all sorts of interesting people. My life seems to be a lot like surfing. See a wave, paddle my butt off, and either catch a wave and get barreled or get pummeled. Either way, it's a good time. The name Gracie is royalty in the UFC and mixed martial arts world. And recently, I spent a typical day in the life of some guys that are more comfortable in their own skin than anyone I've ever met.
So we're here in Torrance, California with Heron and Henner Gracie at the Gracie compound. These guys just rolled me out of the rack and jumped in their ice-cold swimming pool. This is how they start their day. How'd you guys come up with that idea?
As little kids, my dad used to say, if you can get out of bed right when the alarm goes off, jump out of bed, you can do anything. So I said, Henner, let's take it the next step and let's get out of bed right away and run directly into the pool. And now we can do anything. Yeah.
That's a stupid idea, man, I gotta tell you. These guys are probably two of the baddest dudes on the planet. We're gonna see in a few minutes down at the academy if they can hang with me.
Well, I was kind of hoping to miss one of their normal sand dune days, but no luck. After being jolted awake by an ice-cold pool, we headed for some more torture at Sand Dune Park in Redondo Beach. We joined in with some hardcore military types in a masochistic march toward the top of this 200-foot gnarly sandhill. Another great idea brought to you by the Gracie family.
Now, just barrel down.
Crawl down.
Crawl down. All right.
No steroids, no caffeine, and no compromise for these guys. Most of their workouts just use their own body weight, along with maybe a little bit of gravity. 200-foot sand dune was absolute torture. And just as Henner and Hiron were getting warmed up, my thighs completely dissolved under a bath of lactic acid. They invited me back to their place for some Gracie-style nourishment.
We're gonna introduce you to a smoothie that we were pretty much raised on, and
It's our milk.
it's our milk, exactly.
The Gracies have a traditional fruit smoothie that requires as much attention to technique as their black belt jiu-jitsu. A fresh and natural combination of bananas and watermelon with a little dollop of cream cheese.
Perfect. It's a perfect batch.
These guys are serious. This is gonna be pretty good. I think after I have one of these smoothies, I'm gonna be able to take both of these guys down. That is the patented Gracie smoothie.
You're gonna like it.
All right, man. I feel better already.
One of the things that I love to do when I'm traveling around is to find alternative ways to work out. And this is a great place to come to if you're in Los Angeles. Come to the brand new Gracie Academy and work out with these guys. You're gonna get one of the best workouts you'll ever have. And I asked them, hey, are you guys religious at all? Did you guys learn any religious traditions growing up? And they said, yeah, jiu-jitsu. It's awesome, and it's a great tradition that the Gracies have. I mean, what would you do, for example, if some guy back up.
The Gracie teaching methods are so effective that after just 15 minutes, I had learned 2 techniques that could get me out of a worst-case scenario in a street fight against a much larger dude.
Boom, slow motion, Brian. Don't get excited now. It's my brother now. It's 2 motions. It's a slide and a lift of the elbow. Continuous slide. Nice.
Helio Gracie, the Grand Master, had founded Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in the 1920s Brazil. Orion, his son, brought it to the U.S. and founded the UFC in order to prove its dominance. And then Royce Gracie, Henner and Hiron's uncle, proceeded to win 3 out of the first 4 UFC championships.
So the UFC was just a vehicle for us to show the world that this stuff was the most effective system, to later set us up to be able to reach out and teach everyone, like the Army, like the cops, all the people out there, so that when they decide which style of self-defense should we learn, there's your answer.
Now they are the family representatives, along with their younger brother Halleck, and are poised to once again dominate the world of hand-to-hand combat. If anyone out there thinks you can beat them, they're waiting for you down at the academy. Coming up next on A Guy's Guide, you better pay attention. We're gonna mix up the spiritual and the physical down in Laguna Beach. If you ever find yourself here with nothing to do, I got some places to go and some people to see. Not checking out the art or driving fancy cars, but ripping down some killer trails with mountain bike legend Hans Ray. We're also gonna talk to my buddy and guru, Steve Sadler, about the nature of the universe. And then we'll roll down to Joshua Tree National Park. We're gonna push our limits out on the cliffs and boulders with 2 of the best rock climbing guides in the West.
Hang in there. We'll be right back on A Guy's Guide to Living.
Planet X TV.